So Jon Jones has just trashed Tom Aspinall on his latest podcast, and I'm going to talk about it in this video. So Jon Jones recently went on the No Scripts podcast and trashed Tom Aspinall over his recent bout against Cyril Gane. His own words, he called Tom Aspinall a quitter because he got eye poked.
I think Tom was looking for a way out and he took it. He needs to change his game plan.
Man, Tom, when Tom gets hurt, it's like he's like immediately incapacitated.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately.
He shut down.
It's like you poke my eye and then he's like immediately, there's no like.
He never tried to look. It was rag on the eye immediately.
Dude, I would have been the silliest looking cat on national TV just
trying. He didn't try.
Trying.
He didn't try.
Same thing with Curtis Blaze. When he hurt his knee, there was no limping, there was no trying to get up. It was just like immediately.
Yep.
Oh, burn my village. I can't go on.
He doesn't have the dog in him. Yeah, that kill or be killed.
Immediately quits.
Bear in mind, that's not being a quitter. That's being failed in a competition. And you've been injured, so you can't continue because you can't see. Yep. Definitely a quitter. This is actually a very good point, right? So he calls Tom Aspinall a quitter because he couldn't continue in the fight. He never even said he couldn't continue. He just said, I can't see. Isn't Jon Jones a quitter? Do you remember when Chael Sonnen stepped in on short notice to fight Jon Jones? And Jon Jones turned down the fight. He refused to fight. He pulled out. And to this day, that is the only UFC event in history that has ever been cancelled last minute. And that's all because of Jon Jones. So Tom Aspinall's a quitter for getting his eye gouged out, but Jon Jones isn't a quitter for pulling out of a fight last minute. Whatever you say, John. And basically throughout this podcast, he went on this massive sort of just hate-filled rant about Tom Aspinall. He brought up how apparently every single time that he gets injured, he doesn't try and get up or he doesn't try and continue the fight, which is just stupid because out of the 2 times in the UFC that he's actually been injured, both of those injuries were fight stopping, like against the Curtis Blades in his first fight with him. There is no way he could have continued that fight. He had snapped his knee. I'm not entirely sure what injury that was, but I think it was either something to do with the ACL or the MCL in his knee. So he physically couldn't continue. He couldn't stand at all. His whole leg had locked up. He had to be carried out of the octagon in a stretcher because he could not walk. So to give Tom Aspinall shit for that and say he didn't try and carry on the fight is just ridiculous because Jon Jones has never had this kind of injury in a fight in his life. So how can he say what he would do there? I'll give you a clue. He'd do the exact same thing. Because if you can't walk on your leg, you can't fight. And then obviously he touched on the Cyril Gane fight and him getting his eyes gouged out. And again, he just said, he didn't even try and open his eyes. He didn't even try and continue in the fight. He just quit because things got a bit difficult. Let me get this straight. If you can't see, you can't see. And if you can't see, is it really a good idea to carry on the fight with one of the best, if not the best kickboxer in the world, in the UFC at the moment, Cyril Gane? Tom made the right decision there. If anyone had been eye poked by Cyril Gane, they have every right to say, I can't see. Tom Aspinall didn't even say, I can't continue the fight. He said, I can't see. In the moment, he was probably thinking, shit, I can't see. And every single time I open my eye, it's getting worse and worse and worse. Like, am I going to go blind? Like, that him saying I can't see isn't him trying to quit. It's him panicking, thinking, I can't fucking see. He said that against Cyril Gane, he didn't even try to open his eyes after the eye poke. But we all know that this isn't true because he literally said in a video a few days after the fight, he literally said that every single time he tried to open his eyes, he could see less and less and less. So already wrong. He then went on to start talking about his jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and Jon Jones thinks that Tom Aspinall's jiu-jitsu and wrestling is overrated.
I feel as Tom's a great athlete, but I do feel like he's a one-trick pony. I believe that his wrestling and jiu-jitsu is incredibly overrated.
So let's actually look into this and see if he maybe has a point. So, I've got my notes here. Anytime Aspinall has taken his opponent down, he finishes them quickly. Alexander Volkov, Andrei Arlovsky, Alan Boudreaux. This claim is baseless, John. Do you remember the Alexander Volkov fight? The minute that he took down Alexander Volkov, he put him in an armbar. Then there's Andrei Arlovsky. Power shot him for the takedown and submitted him via rear naked choke within about 5 to 10 seconds of him taking him down. And then Alan Boudreaux took him down, pummeled the living shit out of him until the ref had to stop the fight. Jon Jones has no base for these claims whatsoever. He's just basically trying to manipulate his fans and manipulate the audience into thinking that Tom Aspinall is a quitter when he isn't. At least Tom Aspinall Aspinall had the balls to get in there and actually fight Ciryl Gane on the feet. The minute that things started getting hairy for you, Jon Jones, against Ciryl Gane, you took him down and submitted him. And there's nothing wrong with taking someone down and submitting him. I'm just saying. Another claim. Apparently, Gane was only just getting started.
He couldn't touch Ciryl Gane at all. That's the way I felt. I felt like Gane was just getting warmed up. Gane's hands was down. He was shaking his shoulders, bouncing around.
He was touching him. He was touching him.
That jab too was money.
He busted him open.
He was so comfortable.
Not Tom Aspinall. No, Tom Aspinall wasn't getting started. He'd basically shown his whole arsenal in that 4 minutes that they fought, right? Wrong. Both were only getting started. This is so biased from Jon Jones. It's obvious that Jon Jones does not like Tom Aspinall, and all his claims here in this podcast are so biased. I mean, if we're going to use his logic against him, Gane was only getting started before you took him down and submitted him, John. So what's your point here? Then he started to mention that Tom Aspinall, well, basically one of his old fights before he was in the UFC, he got submitted by a heel hook.
Yeah, when he got tapped out with an ankle lock, there was no trying to fight his hands. There were no trying to. He immediately quit.
You see the pattern of it.
Immediately.
Yeah.
And I just think to use someone's past performance before he was even in the UFC, probably longer than 10 years ago, as an example of how Tom Aspinall is a bad fighter, or he's a quitter, because he got put in a heel hook, by the way. A heel hook is a very devastating submission. If you don't tap to a heel hook, basically what you're doing is you're basically asking him to break your fucking leg. That's what you're doing. To say that someone's a quitter because they tap out of a heel hook submission. Anyone who says you shouldn't tap out of a heel hook submission has never been put in a heel hook submission. And that's basically all that Jon Jones said in the podcast, basically where he was trashing Tom Aspinall. And that's the thing. He's been begging Dana White to fight at the White House, and Dana White isn't keen on the idea because he needs people we can trust for this like monumental event that's never been happened before. Why would you go with Jon Jones? He is the most untrustworthy fighter in the fucking UFC, and he's proven that time and time again. He literally turned down $30 million to fight Tom Aspinall. He literally said to Dana White, "Oh, I'll fight him for $30 million," not expecting that he was actually going to be given that $30 million. And then Dana White turned around and went, "Okay, yeah, let's do it." And then he was like, "Oh, that's great. Yeah, thanks, Dana." That's because Jon Jones isn't the kind of fighter to take on a challenging fight. He'd rather just take on someone that he knows he can beat comfortably and then ride off into the sunset with his GOAT narrative. And obviously he wants Pereira at the White House, which is very understandable for him because Alex Pereira doesn't have the best wrestling in the world, and Jon Jones has great wrestling. Who would have thunk it? I wonder why he wants to fight Pereira. And to be fair to Pereira, he did actually show a lot of very good takedown defense against Ankalaev in both of their fights. So he's very good at takedown defense. It's just that if he was to get taken down properly by Jon Jones, it would end quickly. And that's why Jon Jones wants this fight, because he can just take him down and that's it. Jon Jones didn't want to stand up and fight with Ciryl Gane. He stood up for about a couple minutes, realised that, oh shit, Ciryl Gane's actually not that bad, and then he took him down and submitted him, which obviously was a beautiful performance from Jon Jones, and I'm not dissing Jon Jones's performance there. It's just, you can't give Tom Aspinall shit for, staying up and standing on the feet with Ciryl Gane if you weren't willing to do the same thing. Tom Aspinall was willing to keep the fight standing against Ciryl Gane because he wanted to prove a point. He wanted to say, look, I can stay on the feet with Ciryl Gane. We can have a competitive round against Ciryl Gane. But Jon Jones didn't want to do this. He's not the kind of guy to take risks. He just isn't. He didn't want to fight Francis Ngannou, and he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. Didn't want to fight Chael Sonnen last minute. He's just not the guy. He's not the guy. The thing is, if Jon Jones was actually planning on fighting Tom Aspinall down the line, then I wouldn't be really having much of a problem with what he's saying here, because it would be trash talk building up for the fight that they're going to have. But he doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall. Basically what he's doing is he's saying, no, I'm not fighting you, and then just trash talking him on podcasts, and he's just loving the moment right now. There are so many people, his fans mainly, and Dana White, he is loving this moment right now because Tom Aspinall's light has been slightly taken away by people who are biased. He's just gloating the fact that Aspinall got injured. Think about that. You're gloating someone who got gouged in the eyes. Well done, John. I mean, I thought you were a great person. You're a great person before this, and now you're being a dick. Oh wait, no, you were never a great person, were you? So why am I making this video? This is not a surprise. And this is the thing. Where does Jon Jones's hate for Tom Aspinall come from? In my opinion, it's because he knows Aspinall would beat the shit out of him, right? And he hates that. He's so insecure as a man and as a fighter. He hates the fact that Tom Aspinall would beat him. So instead of doing what a real man would do and a real fighter, a real champion, and actually fight the guy you're meant to fight the challenging fight, he doesn't want to do that. He would rather not fight him like a man. He'd rather just sit on a podcast and chat shit and be all catty about Tom Aspinall because he hasn't got the cojones to get in there. It's actually embarrassing. It's almost like, you know, when you break up with an ex-girlfriend or something and she starts like going and telling everyone that you're a piece of shit, but then she won't actually come and talk to you in person because they know that they're the one in the wrong here. So what they're going to do is they'd rather manipulate other people into thinking that you're the problem instead of people realising that actually you're the fucking problem, because he can't even handle that he's the problem. He's very manipulative and very narcissistic, and you can clearly see that in not just the way he talks, not just in the way he treats other people, but his actions in and out of the octagon. All these eye pokes in the octagon. He was well known for it. Jon Jones was known for poking people in the eyes all the time. That was his thing. This is just painting a picture at who he is, and he's projecting his insecurities onto him because he's narcissistic. He can't allow himself to admit to himself that he ran away. That's what this is. He can't admit it to himself that he was a coward, and that's why he's doing this. He was a great fighter. He put on some great performances, great skills. Yes, he did test positive for steroids, but disregarding all of that, he was a great fighter. It's just, I've got to call this out for what it is. I'm not just going to let Jon Jones go on the podcast and talk shit about Tom Aspinall just because he doesn't like the fact that he's better than him. It's really jealous, it's really catty, and I think someone has to call him out on it. A lot of people are calling him out on it, to be honest. I mean, even Michael Bisping. Right, he made a video about it, and Michael Bisping's a very, very open-minded, nice guy. He is a commentator for the UFC, so he's very unbiased. And even Michael Bisping said that Jon Jones is full of shit. And I really hope that I'm going to have to that I can stop making videos about Jon Jones at this point, but he just keeps feeding me more content. So I guess thanks, John. Hello, John. Thanks, John. So anyway, yeah, that is my take on the Jon Jones comments. I think you guys know that I was going to make a video about this. So, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Della Maddalena is going to be taking place next week, and I will be making a video giving my prediction for that fight and how I think it's going to go. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you think I'm going too far here? Do you think Jon Jones is the greatest of all time and Tom Aspinall really is a quitter? Do you think that Jon Jones isn't jealous, he isn't pathetic? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe and turn the bell notifications on so you get notified every single time I post a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one.